Welcome to Guest to Send YouTube channel. On my channel, I talk about personal finance and career development. For today's video, I would like to share with you about what you can do as college student in order to build a credit score over 800. Having a good credit score in the US is very important. There are two major benefits of having a good credit score. The first benefit is it allows you to travel very affordably, and the second benefit is it allows you to make big purchases such as cars or houses in the US for a much lower interest rate compared to the people who don't have a high credit score. I can tell you by my own example. In the past 5 years, I have been flying back and forth between Asia and America pretty much by points that I earn on the credit card. An airline tickets between Asia and America in the summer can cost up to $1,200, and in the winter it can cost around $1,500 for an economic round trip. And just by having a good credit score, I was able to gain access to a good credit card and accumulate points in order to get these airline tickets. Now, the second benefit is when you want to make a big purchase, such as buying a home in the US, you usually need to have a loan with a bank over the course of 15 years or 30 years. The interest rate that the bank will charge you depending on the income and the credit score. So having a credit score can make a huge difference because a 0.25% of a credit card score will save you hundreds of thousands of dollars over the course of 15 years or 30 years mortgage. There are three major factors that in order for you to build a high credit score. The first factor is to make on-time payment, and the second factor is having a low utilization rate. And the last factor that make really high impact the credit score is to make sure not having any missed payment. Now that we understand what are the three major factors will impact the credit score the most, we can talk about what we can do with an action. So the first step when you want to obtain a high credit score in college is to apply for a job. The benefit of having a job is that it gives the credit card company a better assurance about the ability to pay for any purchase you make on the credit card. By being able to see that you have regular incomes coming in every 2 weeks, that will give them more confidence of approving you for a credit card. An additional benefit of having a job for international students is that it makes you eligible to apply for a social security number. For example, when you come to the US, the identity pretty much doesn't exist in the financial system of the US. So having a job makes you eligible to apply for a social security number, and that allows you to start to build a credit score. The second step in order to build a high credit score is to apply for a secure credit card or a student credit card. A secure credit card requires you to put down a refundable deposit, and this amount usually becomes the credit line. So the credit card company will give you the credit line in order for you to use within the first 6 months or a year. And if you make a regular payment purchase month to a year, the credit card company will return the money that you deposit while allow you to be able to build the credit score. This credit card is typically designed for people who have a bad credit score or who doesn't really have any credit history before. The second credit card is student credit card, and it's usually designed for students in the college. So in order to apply for the credit card, you usually have to provide proof that you are currently a college student, and There are a few good programs out there. I highly recommend you can just make a simple research on the internet in order to see which company is suit your need. But no matter what credit card company you go with, making sure that you don't have to pay any annual fee on it, because usually student credit card doesn't charge any fee. Now with a student credit card, you don't have to put down a refundable deposit like with a Circle credit card, but you also have to make sure that you make timely payment in order to get a good credit score. And if you don't get approved when you apply for a student credit card online, I highly recommend you to look up for the reconsideration phone number and give them a call right away after you don't get approved online. When you give them a call, ask for the reason why you don't get approved from the credit card. If they say that because they cannot really tell you have any credit history at all, explain with them that you are a student and this is the first time credit user, and that usually allows them to give you a credit limit less than $1,000, which is the starting point for a student credit. And probably most important step in order to gain the high credit score is to make sure to set up the credit card on auto payment for the full balance and keep the utilization rate less than 10%. So for example, if a bank gives you a credit card with a credit line of $1,000, make sure the moment you get the credit card and gain access to the online account, set up a full auto payment. Set up an auto payment for the full balance, and every month only spend up to $99. So the balance could be $99 over $1,000, and that keeps the utilization rate at 9.9%. Having a low utilization rate the first few years of using credit card is critical in order to determine the credit score. So by maintaining a good utilization rate less than 10%, you should be able to obtain a high credit score the first 2 years. If you can take a look here, my credit utilization rate is less than 1%, and that's one of the major reasons why I was able to get the credit score over 800. Another reason for my high credit score is that because I never missed a payment and had no bad remark of any missed payment. And the reason for me was able to do that because I set up my credit card on auto payments for all of the credit card that I have. Another benefit of being on auto payment is that you would never have to worry about late fee, interest, or outstanding balance on the credit card over 45 days. So it's really a win-win situation if you start building the credit score that way. Alright guys, that is it for today. Thank you so much for listening. If anything I want to tell you regarding to credit card is making sure to treat the credit card just as a debit card. Don't overspend on it more than the amount of money that you actually have in the checking account.